This is the Ural Mountains, vast, cold, silent, a place where the wind whispers through icy trees and the snow buries everything, even the truth. It's February 1959, the height of the Soviet era. 10 experienced hikers, all young students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, set off on a journey through the snowy wilderness of central Russia. Their goal, to reach Odorton Mountain, a route marked as one of the most difficult in the region. Leading them is Igor Dyatlov, a skilled and respected mountaineer. But none of them knew that this journey would become one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. Only 9 of them would enter the mountains, and none of them would return alive. The question remains, what could make 9 seasoned hikers flee their tent in the middle of a freezing night, barely dressed, into certain death? Let's go back to the beginning. The group departed on January 27th. Spirits were high. They laughed, took photos, wrote journal entries. But on the second day, one of the hikers, Yuri Yudin, fell ill and turned back. He would later say, "That sickness saved my life." The remaining 9 pressed on into the forest. They hiked through deep snow, across rivers, through valleys. Their final campsite would be on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl, a name given by the local Mansi people. It means mountain of the dead. Then, silence. Weeks passed. Families heard nothing. On February 20th, search teams were sent. 6 days later, they found the tent, half buried in snow, standing eerily still. But something was off. The tent had been cut open from the inside, not unzipped, not torn by wind or animals, deliberately slashed from within as if the hikers were trying to escape in panic. And they had fled into sub-zero temperatures with no shoes, no coats, some even in underwear. Tracks in the snow showed they walked, not ran, but to where? Soon, 2 bodies were found near a tree line. They had no shoes, no outer clothing. Their hands were burned as if they tried to light a fire to survive. Branches above them were broken. Perhaps they had tried to climb the tree, searching for something. Or someone. 3 more bodies were found between the tent and that tree. They were posed strangely. One appeared to be crawling, another face down in the snow. All had died of hypothermia. But then it got darker. 2 months later, 4 more bodies were discovered in a ravine, deeper into the forest, buried under several feet of snow. Their injuries? Horrific. 1 had a crushed skull, 2 had broken ribs as if hit by a car, yet there were no external bruises. 1 woman was missing her tongue and eyes. And still, no signs of a struggle, no evidence of another group, no weapons, no blood, just broken bones and silence. Soviet investigators were baffled. No clear cause of death could explain the combination of fear, chaos, and trauma. Some said it was an avalanche, but the slope was too shallow, the tent wasn't buried, and the bodies weren't displaced. Others blamed military experiments. Some locals reported seeing strange orange lights in the sky on the night of February 1st. Could the group have been caught in a secret Soviet weapons test? Then there's the theory of infrasound, a wind phenomenon that can trigger panic, hallucinations, and nausea. Could nature itself have driven them mad? Or was it something else? The Mansi people believe the mountain is cursed. They avoid it. Always have. Legends tell of spirits, of things that live in the cold, waiting in silence. But the Soviet Union didn't believe in ghosts. So the official conclusion? A compelling natural force. That was it. The case was closed. The files sealed. The families left with questions and no answers. Today, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most disturbing and perplexing unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. 9 hikers, no survivors, no witnesses, only theories. When the bodies were found, it wasn't just the cold that shocked investigators. It was the details. The missing tongue, the crushed ribs, the tent torn from the inside. No signs of struggle, no signs of escape. Just fear frozen in time. The Soviet authorities opened a file, but they didn't open their minds. The conclusion? A vague and chilling phrase, a compelling natural force. But what force exactly? Let's explore the theories, some grounded in science, others buried in secrecy, and a few born from pure fear. One of the earliest explanations was an avalanche, a sudden rush of snow burying the tent, forcing the hikers to cut their way out. Sounds logical, right? Except the tent wasn't buried. The footprints leading away were clear and undisturbed. The bodies weren't thrown or crushed the way avalanche victims usually are. Even the slope where they camped wasn't steep enough. And yet, for decades, this remained the unofficial official theory. In 2020, Russian authorities reopened the case and once again concluded avalanche. But many experts disagreed, pointing to glaring inconsistencies and lack of supporting evidence. So, if not an avalanche, then what? Some believe it was a military experiment gone wrong. The Ural Mountains were known for secret Soviet testing, especially parachute mines, which detonate above ground. These could explain the massive internal injuries with no external trauma. And those strange orange lights in the sky? Multiple people in nearby towns reported them that very night. Silent explosions, pulsing lights, no sounds, no warnings. Could the hikers have wandered into a restricted area? Seen something they shouldn't have? And if so, did the government cover it up? Then there's the infrasound theory. In 2003, a researcher named Donnie Ikar proposed a fascinating idea. Under rare wind conditions, a phenomenon called the Kármán vortex street can occur, producing low-frequency sound waves. These infrasounds can't be heard by the human ear, but they can trigger intense discomfort, panic, and even hallucinations. Imagine, lying in your tent, everything seems fine, and suddenly your body is overwhelmed by fear. No noise, no threat, just dread. You scramble out into the night, confused, frightened, only to face the real danger, the cold. It's an elegant explanation. But like all theories, it's still just that, a theory. Then we come to the stranger ideas. Some say the hikers were attacked, but by what? Theories range from escaped prisoners to Mansi tribesmen to something far more unnatural. A handful of researchers and even a few officials have whispered about creatures, unknown entities, Yeti, cryptids. Even the CIA got involved, not officially, of course, but declassified files from the Cold War mention the Dyatlov incident in passing. And then there's the alien theory, the missing tongue, the precise injuries, the total lack of external marks. No signs of animal attack, no defensive wounds, no struggle. Could it have been abduction? Experimentation? A force beyond our understanding? It sounds wild. But then again, so does a group of trained hikers fleeing into the night half naked, only to die without ever signaling for help. We're left with fragments, a tent torn from within, footprints calmly walking into darkness, bodies frozen in unnatural poses, internal injuries without external trauma, a missing tongue, missing eyes, and a government more interested in closure than clarity. 60 years later, no theory fits perfectly. Each one explains some parts and fails to explain others. Maybe that's the real answer. There isn't just one. Maybe it was a chain reaction. A strange sound, a panicked escape, an accident in the dark, and the unforgiving cold finishing the rest. Or maybe it was something we're not ready to understand. The Dyatlov Pass remains a monument to the unknown, a place where reason freezes and mystery survives. If you stood there today, on that same slope, you'd find a simple plaque. 9 names, 9 young souls, and no answers. But maybe that's why we keep coming back, to remember them, to wonder, to question. What happened on that mountain? And more importantly, could it happen again? This is 777 File, and we'll continue uncovering the world's most haunting unsolved mysteries. If this story moved you, share it. Leave a comment with your theory. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories just like this. Because sometimes the most terrifying